Namaste. I wonder how often it is that you take the opportunity to actually pause and realize that you're present. If we're really honest with ourselves on a day-to-day basis, presence and taking the opportunity to pause is a challenge. We get caught up in everything that goes on in our day-to-day life and rarely take the opportunity to notice what is happening. That's certainly the case that I've noticed. So I've started doing some investigating, and my investigating has taken me down the path of a regular mindfulness practice. And a formal regular mindfulness practice is definitely something that is quite challenging to me. It requires that I be present. And I realize that during, like a guided 15-minute practice where I'm just asked to be seated with my thoughts in my body, that my mind drifts and I miss a lot of information. I can get frustrated at myself because I feel like I have to rewind and go back and start again, and then the process starts all over again. So I'm glad that I've taken the time to persist with the mindfulness activity, but I've realized that for me, being able to take something that I regularly show up for, that is a part of my life, and incorporating those concepts and principles into that thing has been so much more beneficial to me to experience. So post yoga practice, I'm going to share a journal session that I wrote regarding what it means to me to pause for presence. So the entry goes like this. Pausing for presence is about making space and new opportunity for freedom. What I mean by freedom is releasing you from perpetuation of old and unhelpful responses and from fixed ways about thinking of things. So presence is the opportunity for space and invitations to allow your body to move or respond in a different way. Some of this may make sense, some of it might not. It's a journal session. This morning's practice, I took this formal mindfulness session, so a 15-minute seated session, and embodied it in a moderate yoga practice that included head and neck movements in Sukhasana, some facial massage, cat-cows, threading the needle, downward dog, forward folds over one leg, and just some breathing practices as well. What occurred to me is that presence is not about finding the perfect outcome to your way of thinking and doing things, but rather to have the opportunity to listen and understand with a willingness that allows you to take away the tiniest of things. And the tiniest of things could be the warmth you've not noticed in such a long time. It could be a feeling of fullness and joy in your heart, even if that's only for a glimmer. These things that we rarely have the time and space for, or we rarely create the time and space for. Pausing for presence is a way of exploring the deviated path back to you, and it is a reminder to accept you, complete with everything that makes you unique. We all know it. We might just not remember it. So finding the thing that you already use as part of your routine, if that's yoga, if that's cycling, if it's running, if it's whatever practice you have that is a regular practice that really makes you feel good, take that practice and start applying the principles of being present, of pausing to notice what it is you feel. So If you're a runner, you might notice the feet pounding on the pavement and then how that creates sensation in the feet and where that energy goes from the feet. That is presentness, noticing what impact that activity has on you. Yoga, being in a back bend, pausing to notice, what would happen if I move my hips a little bit more forward or draw my shoulder blades back? And then giving yourself the opportunity to kind of sit with that feeling or that sensation and just notice it as a feeling, as you kind of being present to take on what it is you notice. And then the whole thing then, taking an activity or something that really, really works for you well out into your life and creating opportunities to stop through your day, even if it's for a minute, to focus on your breath, to stretch your arms, to step outside and take in the view that has been in front of you all day, but you've only just stopped to notice a ripple on the water or a bird flying by or whatever it may be, a butterfly landing on your nose, whatever. That's very obvious, but pausing for presence, give it a go. Everything takes practice, and the more practice you allow yourself the time to experience, the better you get at it and the more available you become, A, for yourself, and B, for someone else. I hope some of this practice, or non-practice has resonated with you today. If you would like to share anything in your comments about what it means to you to being present or the things that you find really difficult about pausing to be present, I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then there's that little bell, hit subscribe, hit all so you're notified when my next video becomes available. And yeah, thank you. Happy presence practicing, and I'll see you on the mat again soon. Namaste. From my heart to your hearts.